Good morning. Today we're down at the Lincoln Aquifer. It's located in the southern part of Lincoln, along Route 2. If you look off in this direction, you'll see that that's looking towards Enfield. And if you look this way a little bit more, that's looking towards Howland, and over this way a little bit further is Madamuscontus, and then that's towards the town of Lincoln itself. These inland wetland protected areas were designated by the federal government in the 90s as both land conservation and tree conservation areas, which meant that these gravel packed wells, as far as I know, there's 4 of them up in this area that are still operating since 1961. These areas were designated as conservation areas, which meant that literally the only reason that you could go in there was to either maintain one of the wells existing or to go in there and actually plant trees. So the reason we're out here today is because Lincoln, fortunately for Lincoln, we have an aquifer system here. Say that again. An aquifer system here that can produce in excess of 50 gallons per minute. And those type wells they're not as numerous as they used to be. Let me put it that way. There are not that many wells that can actually produce that much water. And that gives the town of Lincoln an advantage. If you look at where I'm looking, the aquifer itself runs right underneath the Knights of Columbus building to the north, and it runs back this way here to the south towards Enfield. I'm standing right over it right now. And it gives the town of Lincoln an advantage where they have enough water to be able to actually sell it to towns like Madamuscontus in this direction, Howland in this direction, Enfield in this direction, and many other communities maybe that I don't even know about because I don't look at the annual water report. I look at what I can see out in the field and not what someone else has written. So being that it's a protected piece of property designated by the state as a piece of conservation land, then why are we looking at a building constructed by Nestle Waters on the aquifer? You know, the maps that have been drawn to actually designate where the aquifers in this area are, they weren't really completed until 2005. So that being the case, I mean, this building here was already constructed by them. So, I mean, with no knowledge, that happened. But now that we know exactly where the aquifer is, why would the town managers of Lincoln let them put a construction facility or a water facility or anything directly on top of the aquifer? I don't know how you get approval to do that. I really don't. So what it does is you know, you have the runoff from the salt again, where all this land was protected in the past. It's no longer protected now. These trucks come in and they leak oil or whatever they do, and you know, that was the reason that it still is the reason that you can't even walk on that property where the aquifer is. You can't put a motorbike in there, or a snow sled in there, or a four-wheeler or anything. Yet, somehow, this is what we ended up with here. This is your aquifer. This is where your drinking water comes from, right here. Nestle Waters, because they have more money than God, convinced the town council that this was a great idea for the town of Lincoln. All right, now with all that said, with all this water and resource of ours being sold for profit to the surrounding towns and globally now, globally at this point. Nestle Waters bought Poland Springs. I keep talking about Nestle Waters. Half of you probably don't even realize it. It's Poland Springs. So now you get Poland Springs in here stealing our water. Right? We're selling it to them. Well, if you do the math, that should translate into a zero water rate fee for the Lincoln residents. Otherwise, we're not profiting from it. Somebody in the town is. You know, you're selling water to all the communities around here, and you're selling water globally now. So if you're asking me, we shouldn't even have a water bill. But this is what we're faced with. This is the type of town government that we have. There's no planning for anything like this, and they could give a shit about you or I.